when you a drug addict and you on
Facts.
cocaine and you a killer, right? And you killed this person, you killed that person. You're like, sometimes you're not supposed to kill this person. You killed the wrong person. Sometimes that nigga needs to be in jail. That nigga needs to be in
Listen,
No,
jail.
no, no, no,
not
no.
even
I'm not saying that. That's not even what I
unique.
said. I just wanted to be understood. I'm trying to keep it as basic and limited and contained in a box as possible to give you answers to what I see y'all are
Gotti,
talking
mob me
about.
up, Gotti.
You know, there's a difference between murder and killing. You
But
understand what I'm saying?
what
But
Listen,
listen,
but
Alpo
you're
did a
not
lot of killing.
you're not
Alpo
You know
ain't
what I
kill
mean?
no
I don't know if
you're
he
OG.
not
did
That's what
murders.
I'm
I don't
Alpo
know
ain't
saying. You
kill
why,
see,
no
these
OG.
people
whatever
are
happened.
arguing. You got the experience, and people still not trying to hear that. Like they
One
was
mic,
there.
one
you're
mic.
But
talking
I'm
You
about the
know?
I'm up
experience.
off
It's not
this.
about the
listen to
experience.
what I'm
Everybody got
saying
This
the
is
to you.
silly.
experience.
Child, I don't
This
want
is
I
you
just
to
silly.
want to make
leave.
one
I
point.
really wish I would listen to
Okay,
her.
one mic. I'm gonna go
Yeah,
ahead and
this is
reset
Like
the room.
I
You're
just
now
want to make.
listening to. Nope. Let
you
me
just
go
want to
ahead and
be heard.
reset the room. Mute your mic right quick, please. You're now listening to Gotti Gang. Please click the little green mansion at the top. Follow the club. Follow your mods. The topic of today is why Brooklyn niggas acting like they killed Alpo. Please tune in all the time because we do curate good content here. We're gonna practice one mic, and I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all continue with the combo.
No, I'm up off this, but thank you, Unique,
You're
for those
welcome.
gems. You know, stay true and all of that, and I'm up off this. Oh, and
I'ma
shout out to
always
the
Thank
stay
rest
you,
of the
honorable.
Shy. Thank
But
Cha
the
you.
yeah,
honor,
Cha
shout
you
Cha,
out
gotta
to
have
be
a
you
good
and the
honest.
night,
You gotta be
moderators
baby.
and all
honest. Like
that. Huh?
Cha
most of the
Cha, have a
speakers
good
was
night.
jealous of Alpo.
I
You
really
too.
wish
You
I really
too.
wish they was listening without responding because I felt like you had some stuff to say.
No, it's not just that. It's just, Unique is explaining that he's the OG.
Right.
I'm trying, and he was there. And it's kind of asinine to be arguing people who wasn't even born there, or even if they was born, they
I
I
was
wasn't
don't
even
born.
a
understand it.
part of it.
What
Listen,
you talking about?
when
See,
You
I
don't even know. You
when
don't
I
even know
speak
what
with
excuse me,
Let
profanity,
him
Tosh. I'm
finish
talking to
speaking.
King,
Let
yo. I'm
Shy
talking to
speak.
King.
you're talking about.
Thank you. See, this is why today's era is as fucked up as it is. Everybody got so much to say, nobody listens.
Right.
That's why the legacy of, even though I don't condone criminal activity, I myself am a civilian, but that's why there's no such thing as that ever no more. This is
Cause it,
why.
Yeah, that's
because there's no more honor.
they social
It's
engineered that.
not only that it's no more honor, you got that's like, say you an
Social
accountant,
engineering that.
right? King, say you an accountant
Hmm.
and you trying to give me some financial advice. Now, mind you, I'm not an accountant, but I'm telling you how to do your job and that world and that field and all of that. But I don't got no credentials. I never went to school for accounting. I don't even have no accountants in my family.
But there are
Right.
rules
So
to
that's
the
why
account.
It's
Like
not
there are
making no
abstract
sense.
rules. That make no sense.
that's
Y'all
why
don't
I
be
said shout
Shy.
out to Unique, because it seems
talking.
like now he about to waste his time. He's supposed to be considered the OG. Like people can't even respect the fact that he's
Unique is the
speaking and just take
OG
those
for
gems
real.
and let that shit
okay,
digest.
okay.
That's not
So
even
Shy.
I'm up
You
off
done,
Hold
Cha
on.
this.
Cha?
I
Hold
see
on.
y'all.
Hold
Okay.
Thank
on.
you
Give me
though,
just a
Gotti
second.
Gang.
Give me a
Bye,
little second.
opinion, and all of that. Mwah. See y'all later.
Give me
All
a
right,
Shy.
beloved.
Don't leave. Don't leave.
yeah,
You
it's the fact that
don't
people like,
leave. You're top
we can
left.
respect an
Don't
opinion
leave.
and having a conversation. Having a conversation don't mean that
Yeah,
you
but
don't
when
respect
they
that
talking, y'all gotta
opinion.
let them talk, bro. You gotta be
Like
one
shit is
mic.
ridiculous.
Like,
I mean, y'all
Exactly.
know it all, so rock with that. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it's disrespectful because
Your
Unique is not
comment.
trying to tell you things to help you be in this world. He's trying to show you peep so you can peep game when you are in these streets. And y'all can't even listen to that.
And right now, she is the main moderator in this room, so we gonna show her some respect.
nah, but we all
Yes.
listening to Unique though. But the outpost
Much
situation, that's
respect.
a sticky situation though.
Yeah, I'm
We listening
Yeah,
to
listening.
but that's what
DBG.
I'm saying. You having that emotion as a civilian. Even if you in that world like that, you wasn't handling 20 bricks. You don't know what it's like to run 20 to 30 million dollars in your hands.
Like I said, I gave
This
you the
ain't
best
this ain't no
example.
nickel and diamond game.
My brother was shot 2 times in the head, and I would never tell who did it. And that's my own brother, my twin, my other half. You know what I mean? So I mean, I was in it. I got to live with it. You know what I mean? But I got to remain honorable because I wouldn't be able to sleep on myself if I did even get involved in that type of behavior.
Okay. Let me say this and say this clearly. I listen. I listen and then I respond. Your comment was saying that, Cha, your comment said that because they were in the street together, it was okay for whoever's demise that he put out. I said that is not correct. And what I say, and I believe, and I also believe that Alpo believed, because if he felt like he was right for doing what he did to Dementio, why did he send flowers? Why did he send money? Okay, if he didn't have no guilt
Okay,
in his heart.
one, I don't think no one should be talking
Wait,
for anyone,
wait, hold on.
especially.
No, let me finish because you're interrupting me. When I speak about certain things and I speak about about them with passion, it's only because I was there. Okay, I was around. I don't know if you think I'm a 20-year-old, a 30-year-old girl that wasn't around. I was around. I speak with about Dementio with respect. Okay, and when I said what I said about Alpo and his behavior and his dealings, I'm an officer, okay? I'm an officer. It don't
Wait,
give
hold up.
me the
You're a
right.
cop. Wait, just to be clear, you're a police officer, like
I'm a
a cop.
sergeant. I am.
Okay,
I
so
am.
when you was doing that shit back then, was you a cop then, or you was in a drug gang?
You know, my family is my family, and I don't step. But
No, I'm
I
talking about you. I'm talking about you. Was
listen.
you?
When I say I was there, I was there. My family is who my family is,
No, but
and
you're
that
not
don't
listening
change
to the
nothing.
question, Tosh. Tosh, you avoiding the question. I asked you clearly. When you was there back then, right? Was you a cop or a civilian or a drug dealer?
I was a family member of people that was singing a
No,
lot
that's
of
not what I'm
drugs throughout
saying to you.
Brooklyn.
I'm saying,
I'm
was
giving you
you a
the answer to your
civilian?
question.
That's not an
Okay?
answer.
Yeah,
That's
but
not
she
an
never
answer.
said she was a drug dealer in
Listen,
Brooklyn either,
listen to
sis.
this.
If I'm not
Wait,
mistaken.
Listen,
girl,
No,
but
but
Yeah,
I'm
my
let
asking
her
her.
family,
let her say
So
some
she
of the
was a
drugs
civilian,
though.
right?
Taxes does the
don't do
red
that. I
people.
let you talk.
She was a
I'm
civilian.
gonna answer your question. My family didn't afford me the ability to be a civilian. So if you want to say that I was a kid of drug dealers all throughout, New York
Facts.
City and abroad, different states, that's
Sit
what I
down, bro.
was. I didn't live and I wasn't afforded the ability not to, like your mother raised you to say you can walk across the street to the school, whatever, whatever. No, when shit was going down, I had a different view of how I walk to the street and what I do and whatever the case is. So that civilian shit, I ain't never been no motherfucking civilian because my family didn't afford me that shit.
Facts. Niggas never had a
So,
choice.
all right. So if that's all right, so then you emotionally tied to it, but you still not peeping game. When, just like Unique was saying, it's one thing to murder somebody and one thing to kill somebody. When you in that game, those kind of rules apply. You may say that because of your family situation, you wasn't afforded the right to be a civilian, but right now in this room, your emotions and the way you're talking about it is as though as a civilian. Just like Unique was saying, how the dude didn't pick up his hand because he didn't want to be a rat. There's certain codes and certain situations. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. Even though you may have been there in that time of period, your emotions and the thinking process of it all, to have that emotional connection where you feel like he's a snake because he killed other criminals, other murderers, other niggas that was in the game, it's kind of a contradiction and
Listen,
an oxymoron.
okay, but listen to this. You call it oxymoron, and I said this, and you cut me off, right? I said this to say this clearly. I am a sergeant, right? If I shoot another sergeant that I work with, okay, I'm a cop killer, all right? Bottom line, right, wrong, or indifferent, if my partner is my partner and we have whatever differences, it's not for me to do something to my partner that is my partner and what, hide behind it. It's okay. It's just, oh,
No,
I'm a cop
nobody,
killer,
see,
that's
that's the
it.
thing. Nobody says it's okay, but that's game, Tosh. That's game. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. That's game. You have a civilian emotion attached to it, and I
That's a
get that.
snake.
Maybe
That's a
people.
snake.
But
Okay, it could
but
be a snake, but that opinion is based off of a civilian mentality. That's all
Okay,
I'm saying.
that opinion is
Everybody the
based
same
on my
shit.
upbringing. That's a snake.
Okay, it could be a snake. It could be a snake all it wants to, but that's still game. It doesn't negate the fact that that's game.
Okay. I can't beg to differ, but I know what I stand on is what I stand on.
Okay,
Alpo was a snake, and that's just
okay.
the bottom line.
And so was every
And
other
Everybody
drug
that's
dealer,
involved.
kingpin.
Everybody that was
So was
involved.
every other.
listen, hold on.
AZ was a snake. Wayne Perry was a snake. This nigga was a snake. Demisio, whatever was this. All of them were. All of them.
Level
Let me
to the
say
shit
this.
though. It's
Let me
level.
say this to you. Okay? Growing up in Brook, first of all, we come from, I don't know whatever you come from, but growing up in Brooklyn and the time that I came up in, a lot of people that you say are snakes and the drug dealers and this, that, and the third, let's see and understand the opportunity that all of them was afforded. Okay? Let's understand the conditions and the circumstances that we were placed under. Okay? Let's understand that either you were using drugs or you were selling them. That's where I come from. All right. Either my uncle or my brother sold your mother some drugs, or they sold some drugs with my uncle and my brother. Okay. Let's not
But
act
was that
like.
you though? That's what I'm asking. Was
But
that
listen
you?
to what I'm saying to you. When
You
you
a
say that,
sergeant now.
listen, but no, but listen. Listen to what you're saying. You're saying that all of these people were snakes or whatever because their environment led them to create a lifestyle or a way or a means to provide for their families. I don't agree. I beg to differ. I lived it. Okay?
Okay.
Brooklyn don't look like how Brooklyn looked now when I grew up.
Facts.
Okay? I lived it.
Nah,
Okay,
that's real
so
shit.
I know that when my brother, when my uncle, when my whoever sold drugs and did what they had to do, they did it for us, the
All
family.
right, but
You
you
understand what
you
I'm
And they
you
saying?
killed
you
for the
benefited
family.
from it. You did
They
not
killed
live
for
it,
the family
Tosh.
too. They didn't
Mhm.
just sell drugs. They had to be killing for the family just the same.
That's what I'm trying to say. Exactly. All of them, every single last one of them, including Unique, had to do what he had to do. Not only just to feed his family, but to survive for the next day in order they could do this shit all over again. So all
Makes
of them
sense.
was. Okay?
Okay,
We can't
but
sit
those
here
was the
and pick and choose
circumstances.
who's a snake and who's not a snake
But
when they was
that's not a
all
snake
in
in my
game.
book. That's not a snake in my book.
All right,
So
but
then
see,
maybe
that's what
you
I'm.
don't
It
know the
doesn't have
whole
to
rap
be.
sheet. Maybe you don't know everybody's story. You feel like Alpo's a snake because you know Alpo's story. Everybody not gonna say, "Oh, I killed 18 people and two of them was my besties and two of them I ain't have no real reason to kill besides I was hating on him because he was getting all the girls or he was buying all the nice cars or he had all the jewelry. They not gonna sit there and tell you that, and you might never hear their story. Maybe their story might not be broadcasted, but that don't negate the fact that they probably did some of the same things that Alpo may have done. You just heard Alpo's story from the movie or whatever the case is. So I don't know if maybe he did something to one of your family members, so you feel strongly about it. But if they saying that this is a code that they live by and this ain't your code, then maybe you could listen to the fact that they saying this is how it go. That's how it go in that world.
You really
Listen,
think?
You
You
could
really
either
think
put
if you
yourself
if
in that
oh,
world
I'm
or
sorry,
you could
King.
just say I'm not in that world, so I don't really understand it. But
Yes,
like
that's
to
why I asked
argue
her that.
it down is kind of crazy if
listen.
you don't really understand it.
That's why I asked her that because
Let me
that's why
explain.
I asked her. Wait, hold on, Taj. Let me just
Okay.
get this out so you could understand. That's why I asked her that. I don't, if she's a sergeant, then it shouldn't matter. That's why I asked her, is she a civilian? It's one thing for your family to be doing something and you just benefiting from it or just around it, and it's another thing to actually be in it. Now, you probably mad at something that a drug dealer or even Poe did to your family. If your family was out there really running it like that and had all that money like that and made sure y'all was good, especially for a decent amount of stretch, I guarantee you they laid somebody down too.
Okay.
Okay, so if you can't call one a snake without calling the other snake when they both practice the same antics.
The
Yo,
best way to say that
I
is
agree
if
with
they
you.
was out
I
there
agree with
like
you,
that, they
Chuck.
was fair
Yo, I agree
game.
with you.
You make yourself fair game when you enter into that. That means anything happen to you, you got to take that. That's called fair game. You know what I mean? Once you decide to go out there and sell drugs, police want to lock you up, and stick up kids want your drugs. You know what I mean? And crackheads and dope fiends want your drugs.
One
So
day.
you become fair game for the police, the stick up kid, and the crackhead or dope fiend that want your drugs. So now if they come to try and harm you or to try and take your drugs, now you're going to have to fight for it. The same way the white people have the law that they call stand your ground. If somebody come and invade your space, you have a right to stand your ground and kill their goddamn ass.
Facts.
You know what I mean? The same way you on the street and I'm selling my goddamn drugs and a wolf come by and try and take my drugs and I kill him. That means that I'm standing my ground. You understand what I'm saying? But the law don't look at that because they look at it like you were selling drugs and you killed somebody, so therefore you got second degree murder. You understand what I'm saying? They say it wasn't premeditated. It wasn't. I got a brother that went to jail for 8 to 24 for attempt murder. Dude robbed him and took his shit and pulled his gun out, bust a couple of guns so my brother wouldn't fire. Then my brother grabbed the gun out his dreads and fired and shot the dude 4 times in the back. You know what I mean? Now, when they took me to trial, they charged him for attempt murder. You know what I mean? The dude was fleeing. My brother tried to use self-defense that they robbed him. Then next thing you know, it turned back around, and then the judge said, if it was self-defense after you fired the first bullet and you saw the first sight of blood, you should have snapped back to reality once you saw that first sight of blood. But once you fired those other 3 shots, that became attempted murder because now you're trying to kill the nigga. The first
Right.